we've seen the rebound in crypto, and there's a lot of bears out there saying it's going to go to 20,000 or whatever. One thing that I look at when I look at crypto, and again, what I like, Daniel's, a lot of the shit's getting nailed. I thought that would happen a year and a half ago of why I created security token, because you have more transparency in it, you get an equity stake, and we're seeing that. Names in our portfolio have come down, but those are really good names I researched. We don't have bullshit in our crypto intelligence portfolio. We've added some of these names. I'm very confident in a lot of these names, and even Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like that. But if you're looking at it of where it's going to go and what's going to push it lower, I'm trying to find something out there. I mean, listen, if the SEC comes out and deems all these things securities, which they have a great argument for 95% of the market, they are securities, right? I mean, people are trading them, making money off of them. They're operating right now on the assumption that they're not securities, which is kind of amazing to me. But if you're looking at the risks of the market, right, they bring up the Tether shit again, right, which was investigated and they, again, heavily investigated. They pay fines, no doubt. Or anything.
And real quick, which is supposed to be 100% backed by U.S. dollars. That's the big area right there. Hey, you got billions and millions of tellers, but they don't have 100% of dollars backing those. So yeah,
but it's the same exact argument we saw 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right? So and then China coming out completely out of the market. Fine. Maybe people thought that China, anyone in Bitcoin knew that China wasn't going to adopt Bitcoin. I mean, it's the worst thing for them, because that's a way for, rich people to get money out of that country. They want everything in there. They want total control. That's what you have with that type of government. So Bitcoin doesn't make sense. That's why they're trying to create their own currency. And now they limited miners, shut the bank funding off, everything, right? So, but that's done, right? That was from 6,000, 30,000. And you look at the leverage. This is a very high leverage market where a lot of this leverage come out. What is going to push it much lower here? Maybe it goes 25, but what's going to push it much, much lower from here? Because it's being adopted by institutions. You see it at ATMs. You see it everywhere. Bitcoin, more and more. You've seen NFTs really quick. And now that market is kind of shot. But, security tokens, I could tell you from being in this industry, it's it's starting to boom. I mean, the calls I'm getting from everyone out there saying, not just they want to start to cut, but everything is opening up. Fordham University just did a big presentation, which I have to listen to. Somebody sent it to me about real estate tokenization. It just, like I said, this checks off all the boxes. It doesn't have like the excitement of a garbage crypto like, Dogecoin or whatever, it's going to go up 20,000% immediately. But as those things get nailed, people are looking for another way, because this system is cheaper. You don't have to go to investment banks to raise capital. You could trade. It's for retail investors. I mean, you get into companies finally, not when Snowflake goes public at whatever tens of billions of valuation, when everyone's selling it to you who got it at $1. This is the new market. This is a new way of investment banking. And people are flooding into this market, and it's been very, very exciting. I will say that. And that's because, regular crypto has come down, which, again, I expected that from a lot of these names, but now we're seeing it, but there's always positives when something doesn't go right in with something else.
Yeah, I hate to just kind of blindly agree, but I'm with you, because I don't understand, and maybe crypto, who knows where it's going in the short term. Bitcoin could easily drop, below 30 again, near 20, whatever. But the big headwinds, like you said, the terrible headlines, you never chance never, but the China thing, all that's past us. And there is, interesting to me, around the $30,000 mark, give or take a few thousand. We've talked about this for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. It's kind of bouncing around there. It's holding. We'll see what happens. But you don't have all the major banks and all the headlines from PayPal just raised their limits to like $100,000 a day now. Yes. Yep. Square is making more comments about being more pro. They've always been very pro Bitcoin, but talking about just expanding services to customers. You don't have Goldman Sachs and everybody else getting into this and sitting on their hands. That's why I'm so excited about earnings season coming up for Galaxy Digital, Marathon Patent, some Riot Block, the miners and things like that. And what got swept under the rug with all this news, it was a huge deal, or with all the volatility is a huge deal, because we had a first of an over-the-counter stock, Pink Sheets, American Films, about an $9 million market cap company, decided and announced that they are going from that market over-the-counter to the T0 platform. Mm-hmm. So you're going from the standard trading of stocks to the tokenization. That's a real big deal. I mean, this needs to be time-stamped, because if things go a quarter or half as good as we are hoping and you think so, this is going to be one to look back and be like, hey, why in the hell didn't you guys do this earlier?
Yeah.
Now, granted, there needs to be infrastructure. There's got to be a highway that you can cross and take that road to get from A to B.
Volatility is the biggest thing. You want to have
absolutely
liquidity. I mean, it's just, you have to have liquidity in these things. And now you're starting to get it. I mean, you're seeing these exchanges open up and their alternative trading platforms open up, these ATSs, and that's what we're seeing here.
And the good news about T0, to your point, is they're following the anti-money laundering laws. They're following the Know Your Customer, all the SEC. So basically, my impression is they're trying to say, hey, we don't have the final blessing from the Security Exchange Commission, the SEC, yet, but we're basically saying, hey, we're treating it like stocks, and there should be no issue.
Yeah.
That's a very simple version, but that's something you need to pay attention to.
No, that's definitely exciting, and definitely exciting for crypto intelligence. So we're going to get a hold of a lot of companies getting in there early. A lot of companies are coming to us because we were pretty much the first, if not one of the first, to the market and to trade to retail investors. So it's
one last thing here, because when I was looking into when I saw that announcement, that was pretty cool. I'd never heard of American Films, but now that they'll have to, you would think they're going to have to put some disclosures out, some financials. You're going to allow investors like us to dig through these. What stood out to me here is that if you just replace the over-the-counter market or the pink sheet market, I mean, you're talking over $1 billion, several $1 billion. You could easily get a bunch of companies over there, get a lot of volume, get people interested, get disclosures out there. I mean, to your point, it's not going to be like the 2,000% and all that, like coins, because it's not 24/7, et cetera. But you talk about a massive bull market and huge price appreciation. Yeah. When you get in a comfortable environment and you get people that know that they can trust it, I mean, anything can happen, and you're going to get great businesses on there. So that's beyond exciting. So it's going to take some time. Tom Petty said it best: waiting is the hardest part. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of good news that you need to think about. You can't just be all one direction, but don't just assume that everything's bad because the crypto market's down. Don't let price dictate your research process.
Yeah, no, it is very exciting times. I could tell you personally, the amount of people reaching out, the alternative trading platform, the biggest people in the industry reaching out, just a lot of the news that's been reported, it's been incredible. I mean, it's more in the last 6 months than it's been probably in the last 18 months. And COVID did put a little wrinkle in things and people a little nervous or whatever. But man, getting the funding, people raising money, doing Reg A offerings, being able to trade to retail investors, a U.S. company that's on a U.S. exchange or alternative trades, all that is now here. And it's very, very exciting time.